Hello, good evening and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We thank you for joining us. I am Lydia Odije Ochi. The Federal Executive Council has approved over 60 billion naira for the construction, rehabilitation and completion of critical road infrastructure in the Federal Capital Territory and other parts of the country for enhanced socio-economic development. Works and Housing Minister Babatunde Fashola and his FCT counterpart Mohammed Musa Bello announced this while briefing journalists after the council's meeting. We will bring you details of this in our subsequent bulletin. President Muhammadu Buhari has received reports of the brazen attack on Government Science College, Kagara, in Rafi local government area of Niger State. Following these reports, the President has directed the armed forces and police to ensure immediate and safe return of all the captives. The President has also dispatched to Minna, Niger State, a team of security chiefs to coordinate the rescue operation and meet with state officials, community leaders, as well as parents and staff of the college. President Buhari assures of the support of his administration to the armed forces in their brave struggle against terrorism and banditry and urged them to do all that can be done to bring an end to the menace. Meanwhile, Niger State government says it will implore all options except paying ransom to free all those in captivity, including the students and staff of Government Science College, Kagara, in Rafi local government area. Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, who stated this in a press briefing, however, disclosed that a student of the Science College, Kagara, lost his life during the abduction. Muktari Abubakar Wowo reports.
Abubakar Sani Bello, who acknowledged that it is a trying period for the state and indeed Nigeria, solicit the support of the federal government in rescuing those in captivity.
Another incident occurred today, Wednesday, the 17th, 2021, at about 2 a.m. at Government Science College, Kagara, where 27 students, 3 staff, and 12 members of their families were kidnapped. Unfortunately, one student was shot dead. I'm deeply concerned at these recent sad events and therefore call on the federal government to deploy all resources while we are looking at all options, both kinetic and non-kinetic, to ensure the safe return of victims of both incidences.
The governor ordered the closure of all boarding schools in Munya, Mariga, Rafi, and Shiroro local government areas of the state until further notice.
We will not rest or sleep until we bring them back to their families. We are therefore appealing to all Nigerians to continue to pray for the safe return of our wives, fathers, daughters, sons. We need the understanding and cooperation of Nigerians at these trying moments to unanimously condemn all acts of criminality, banditry, and kidnapping with one voice.
Meanwhile, the federal government delegation comprising of National Security Advisor Babagana Mongono, the Inspector General of Police Muhammad Adamu, the Minister of Information Alhajilai Muhammad, and that of the Interior Rauf Aregbesola arrived Niger State Government House, Mina, in response to the kidnapping of the students and others at the Government Science College, Kagara. Government House in Mina. Mukhtar Abubakar, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Senate has urged President Muhammadu Buhari to declare state of emergency on security in Nigeria. This followed a motion of urgent public importance by Senator Sani Musa, which condemned the abduction of some students from Government Science School, Kagara, in Niger State. The motion condemned the reoccurring incidents of abducting school children and called for massive joint security operations to rescue the students, fish out the perpetrators, and destroy their hideouts. Meanwhile, the Senate has confirmed the nomination of Agugu Adolphus for appointment as the Auditor General for the Federation. This followed the consideration of the report of the Senate Committee on Public Accounts, where the legislative arm of government harped on the need to ensure the independence of the Office of the Auditor General for the Federation. Beyond the literal meaning translated for common understanding of human existence and the desire for social harmony and national cohesion is the acceptance to flourish together in peace and work towards achieving sustainable progress for the greater happiness of all. And as Nigeria aspires to attain these heights, social unrest, on the other hand, continues to deprive the people of genuine love for one another, which sometimes takes a wrong trajectory. Guests on the NTA Current Affairs program Tuesday Live say the squabbles are surmountable only if peace and national integration are given a chance. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports.
Government should encourage good conduct and be given awards and recognitions to people that are promoting national inclusiveness, national unity, national peace.
I must make it very clear that there is nobody that believes in this country that would continue to indulge in acts that would culminate in pacificating Nigeria.
These are voices of wisdom and facts that cannot be changed for peace to reign supreme. Nigeria has remained united despite all odds and the negative factors threatening the corporate existence of the Nigerian state is not far from being over. The Shasha killings may have taken an extreme dimension at a time government is striving hard to put an end to the space of insecurity in parts of the country.
More than 25 people were killed in Shasha over a very needless crisis.
We have multicultural society, multi-ethnic society, and of course, this should be an advantage to Nigeria.
Wants everyone to carry arms, to be licensed to carry arms. I don't think that is a solution.
Without unity, there's no way there can be progress, in any nation.
Guests say the diversity of Nigeria should remain the source of its strength rather than division and tendency for violence extremism, which should not be an option for settling disagreement.
We saw what happened in the United States quite recently. If it were some other places, the entire country would have collapsed. But no matter what happened in the United States, we remember the January 6th Capitol attack and the rest of them, democracy still prevailed.
When you take section 15, subsection 4, it says that loyalty for every citizen of the Federation, particularly those in authority, is to the nation, and any primordial consideration, whether ethnic, whether tribal, whether religious, should.
We apologize for the freezing pictures on that report. Moving on now, federal government delegation comprising of National Security Advisor Babagana Monguno, Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu, Ministers of Information Alhaji Lai Mohammed, and that of Interior Rauf Aregbesola arrived Niger State Government House, Mina, in response to the kidnapping of students and others at Government Science College, Kagara. The leader of the delegation, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, said, federal government says it will not surrender the sovereignty of Nigeria to some faceless hoodlums.
My colleagues who have been sent by the President to reassure the people and government of Niger State in particular, and Nigeria in general, that the administration would leave no stone unturned to ensure the safety of life security of life, safety of property will continue to reign in Nigeria. We are here also to take first hand of His Excellency, which has given us, and to further re-strategize the need of security in our state activities. We are very glad at what we have witnessed on the case, and the fact that the governor, with his cabinet, is actively exploring both kinetic and non-kinetic approaches to ensure the safe release of the people.
Minister also assured Nigerians that the federal government is on top of the situation as it is employing all strategies to address the security challenges bedeviling the country. At a time the country is throwing everything into ensuring that there is lasting peace, the Emir of Lafia, Justice Mohammed Sidi Bagi I, is keying into these efforts towards ensuring peaceful coexistence in his domain as he takes messages of peace to his communities under his Emirate Council. Abigail Bashi reports.
The Emir's visit is to complement efforts by taking messages of peace in the villages on the need for peaceful coexistence.
We appreciate your visit.
You will continue to be our staff.
Located 13 kilometers away from the state capital, Barking Abdullahi, an agrarian settlement with high potentials for economic prosperity. The monarch reiterates that his visit is to underscore the need for traditional rulers to take responsibilities of the well-being of their subjects.
This interaction affords us the opportunity to know how our people are doing, to know their immediate problems, those of which we can attend, we attend to them. Those of which we cannot, but pass on the message to the government.
In Lafia, Abigail Bashi, NTA News.
You are watching Nationwide. Lagos is our first port of call, and Hingino will be guiding us. Hello, Hingino.
Hello, Lydia. Illegal activities along the Lagos waterfront have persisted, posing environmental, security and maritime challenges to safe navigation for water transportation. To change this narrative, an enforcement team of the federal government has begun demolition of illegal structures along the Lagos coast lines. Dr. Noguyemi reports.
These are illegal shanties constructed along the Lagos coastline of Lekki. Although they have been illegally occupied for years, the clearance and demolition became necessary following the expiration of an eviction notice over concerns of security threats and navigational challenges posed to maritime activities.
We discovered that most of all these area boys, these bad boys, if they commit their atrocities on the highway here, they use this place as their hideout.
And at the same time, blocking the navigable channels in Lagos State. So we feel that it can no longer be tolerated. After this, the Lagos area office will take possession of it because it's for us within our right of way. We will now decide what government can do with it.
The National Inland Waterways Enforcement Team also raided some areas in Ikoyi and Banana Island where illegal land reclamation has persisted despite warnings. The enforcement, according to NIWA, continues as the agency has served eviction notices to illegal occupants of areas along the vast Lagos coastline. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
25 additional veterinary doctors are to be employed by the Lagos State government to boost the capacity of medical personnel in the Ministry of Agriculture with a view to enhancing healthy meat production across the state. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu gave the directive while inaugurating an ultra-modern mechanized abattoir in Bariga, Lagos. Musa Toliat has details.
The commissioning of the mechanized abattoir in Bariga brings the number of abattoirs in the state to 16, out of which 11 is run by the state government. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says the project is born out of the need to sustain government's relentless efforts to process wholesome meat under healthy and hygienic conditions.
If we're consuming over 1.8 cattle, we're consuming over 1.6 sheep and goats, it means that we can indeed, create a big ecosystem, a big controlled, managed, clean industry in our red meat value chain.
Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, who witnessed the project commissioning, lauded the initiative by the state government to provide an enabling environment for establishment of the mechanized abattoir.
These are really what drives societies all over the world. Small, medium, family businesses. But why is this important? If every member of the APC, who is a lawyer, small business, doctor, small business, accountant, small business, bricklayer, small business, begins to employ one person, will we have unemployment again as a problem in Nigeria? That is why this is important.
The mechanized abattoir was approved for development in 2014 in Lagos. Musa Toliat, NTA News.
We now take a break. Nationwide continues shortly.
I bring you wonderful news. The village headmaster is coming back to your screen. Mo wire abi mi o wire. Teacher yo mo, a fẹ́ lọ wá nǹkan jẹ. Teacher yo mo, a fẹ́ lọ wá nǹkan jẹ. Ọmọ onírẹsì ti dé.
Go na better school for Las Gidi. Not be all this on a rugged school for Ijabi. I don't know for you.
It's called Oja Village. Kadesi, we know happy at all.
And I know that even you too, you are getting a lot of orders too. Hey, we are trying, shall sweep her leg out. She was standing there. Sweep it.
I love you so much.
And how did I give you the impression that I was interested in that position?
50-year anniversary.
You mean anniversary?
I mean, that's why I talk with that now.
Not for me. Not for me because of Pamio.
The second wave of the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic is upon us.
To safeguard lives of our people, government has signed the health protection regulations, which makes wearing a face mask mandatory in public places.
Wear a mask, keep social and physical distancing, avoid crowded places, wash your hands regularly with soap and clean water, and use hand sanitizer.
COVID-19 is real. Do not be infected. Do not spread it. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk. App for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
After sharing the spoils in their last meeting, Southampton will be looking to secure all 3 points when they welcome the Blues to St. Mary's. This Saturday, it's Southampton versus Chelsea on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 1:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Axis Bank, Bye Jebu, Lipton, and Close Up in association with Gold.com.
Thanks for staying with us. Senate Committee on Finance has called on the federal government to constitute the board of the Fiscal Responsibility Commission in order to make it carry out its full responsibilities. Chairman Senate Committee on Finance Adeola Olamilekon made the appeal when the presidential nominee for the commission, Victor Muraiko, appeared before the committee for screening. National Assembly correspondent Mobolaji Moribirin has the report.
Victor Muruako is the acting chairman of the Fiscal Responsibility Commission. During the screening exercise, the lawmakers pointed out issues confronting the commission and how the presidential nominee can resolve them, as his responsibility includes monitoring public resources.
As a result of trying to make the agency redundant and not making it to be fully functional, their responsibility has been reduced to the lowest ebb. And I strongly believe that if we have a full board in place, I believe that all revenue generating agencies of the federal government will be taken aback, and we can reposition this country in terms of what comes into the country in terms of revenue.
The nominee is optimistic that he would work in accordance with the provisions required by the commission.
I will ensure that the commission is repositioned. In what way? You will check, sir, that over time that we've been able to improve on the remittances of the agencies.
His confirmation would follow the recommendation by the committee at plenary. From the National Assembly, Mobolaji Moribiri, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Joint National Assembly Committee on Health has maintained its position to hold on to the utilization of 10 billion naira budgeted for the production of local vaccines until all legal framework are provided. This was the position of the committee at an interactive session with the Minister of Health. Dayo Ogunshola reports.
Quest for production of vaccines to address the challenges posed by coronavirus pandemic has put all nations across the world in the race to look inward for homegrown solutions, especially the production of vaccines. Already, Nigeria has joined the race with budgetary provision of 10 billion naira to commence local production of the vaccines. At a meeting of the Joint National Assembly Committee on Health, Minister of Health provided insight into the Memorandum of Understanding of Government with Bio Vaccines Nigeria Limited for local vaccine production.
The purpose of the MOU that we now give a part of that thing now that it's running. But now, in the meantime, if you look at our vaccine profile, our vaccination profile is reaching very high. A part of that activity, it can now be handed over to. So there is nothing that has been spoiled at all to Bio Vaccines. So they have their time to develop, and then that market is there waiting for them.
However, the committee demanded that the status of the 10 billion naira allocated for vaccine production should be more strategic and measurable before it can be assessed.
Just the take home is that the suspension stands. We will have another day. We'll fix another date with Bio Vaccines that will invite you, especially to listen to you.
What we want, Honorable Minister, this 10 billion of public funds, we want to know specifically what it will deliver to us.
Greatest news I've had today is that you will talk to us personally. Yes. I mean, then you will understand my passion.
On the availability of COVID-19 vaccines, the Minister of Health provided the committee with a detailed deployment plan as they projected that by the end of February, the vaccines will be available in the country. In Abuja, Dayo Ogunshola, NTA News.
The Nasarawa state government is targeting more than 1 million persons as it flags off statewide free medical services to meet their health needs. Aliyu Tijani Mohammed reports that Governor Abdullahi Sule also launched the state basic health care scheme for civil servants in the state.
Both young and old, they all converge on a way to benefit from the free medical service of the state government.
That is beneficial to us. We really thank God and we really thank the government.
Day office that I heard this program, that immediately I said, let me come with my just small boy.
We have been suffering from going up and down looking for our health, and if this really has come to help us, it will help us a lot.
700 patients with illnesses such as hepatitis, diabetes among others will be attended to, with 15 surgeries expected to be carried out during the flag-off. Dalhatu Arab Specialist Hospital Lafia, with its team of medical professionals, is providing the services with the support of the State Ministry of Health.
We shall endeavor to provide more healthcare services to guarantee the well-being of our people in Nasarawa State.
Similarly, the state government flagged off the implementation of basic healthcare scheme to provide access to quality and affordable healthcare to civil servants in the state. The scheme, Governor Sule said, is to subsidize healthcare services to workers in the state. National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS, and the World Health Organization, WHO, are providing technical support to the scheme. Aliyu Tijani Mohammed, NTA News.
It is now time to join Deepa Bari in our Port Harcourt Network Center for more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Deepa Bari. It's over to you.
And welcome to Port Harcourt. For many Orthodox churches, the beginning of Lent is traditionally marked by the distribution of ashes on the foreheads of Christians, referred to as Ash Wednesday. This is just as believers are expected to make commitments to fasting, prayers and charity. Ijoma Ogweke visited some churches in Port Harcourt City and captured the mood and messages of Ash Wednesday.
And believe in the gospel. Remember that you are dust, and to dust you shall return, are words repeated during the marking of a cross on the foreheads of believers, reminding them of their mortal existence.
Every human being to go back to God and think of the season and then our relationship with God and one another.
As part of Ash Wednesday tradition, many Christians abstain from food during 40 penitential days of preparation leading to Easter. To many believers, Lenten promises or resolutions are made to mark this important holy season, while to some the message of Ash Wednesday is that of sober reflection.
This is a time that we look at that very concept, return back to Him, and see and reconcile ourselves with Him, with our Maker.
This period, to be precise, I will make sure I treat others the way I want to be treated.
If you eat meat, you like eating meat, that thing you like doing, if you like eating meat or ice cream, you can say, no, I don't want to take ice cream for this period. It's just a way of taming your body.
Ash Wednesday is always marked 6.5 weeks before Easter and is a call for charity and attending to spiritual practices. In Port Harcourt, Ijoma Ogweke, NTA News.
To stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic, Nigerians must abide by the guidelines and protocols. And so, the Special Marshal of Akwa Ibom State engaged commuters and motorists on an enlightenment campaign to sensitize on safe guidelines. Wisdom Jacob reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari, in his effort to contain the spread of the rising number of COVID-19, recently signed the COVID-19 Disease Health Protection 2021, a regulation which makes the use of face masks mandatory in public places. It is against this background that the Special Marshal, one of the three arms of the Federal Road Safety Commission, in collaboration with the regular Marshal, Akwa Ibom State Command, embarked on an enlightenment campaign to distant journey motor parks to remind commuters and drivers on the need to observe COVID-19 safety protocols at all times.
It has become a law in this country that if you fail to obey COVID-19 protocols, you can be prosecuted.
Have to make sure
we sensitize the people of Akwa Ibom State to try as much as they can to make use of their face mask and to also make use of whatever they can when they are in the vehicles, not to be men in the cars.
Their coming has also bring to bear the necessary things we need to do, coupled with this COVID-19 issues, the challenges that we are having.
The enlightenment campaign also afforded the opportunity of testing drivers to identify those that have taken alcohol and hard drugs. In Uyo, Wisdom Jacob, NTA News.
We are done here. It's back to Lydia for the rest of the news. Good evening.
Many thanks, Libabari. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu says the Commission plans additional polling units before the next general elections to avoid congestion during voting while availing voters the opportunity for observing COVID-19 protocols. Hassan Lawal reports that the chairman stated this at a meeting with members of the Arewa Consultative Forum in Kaduna. Former Governor Benga, in Kaduna.
According to the INEC chairman, since 1996, the number of polling units were more than 120,000 to serve 50 million voters, and in 1999, the number of eligible voters exceeded 84 million with the same polling units.
We contacted all groups nationwide, and some have started giving us dates. One of the associations or groups that has given us a date is the Area Consultative Forum. So we just see the opportunity of the meeting of the organs to come and brief them. But going forward, we'll also interact with all other sociocultural associations as they give us dates nationwide.
We also understand the explanations. So considering what they have, the fact that since 1996, the polling units have not been increased, we think that it's necessary for the convenience of democracy.
Professor Yakubu says the organization will continue with the interaction across all stakeholders. In Kaduna, I am Hassan Lawan Shatima, NTA News.
Ebonyi State Governor David Umahi has called on purveyors of fake news to desist from such acts, which is capable of causing disunity in the country. Umahi, who was speaking after revalidating his membership with the All Progressives Congress Party at his local government in the state, said patriotism should be the watchword for every Nigerian. Chika Okorie reports.
Governor Umahi, while revalidating his membership, expressed optimism that about 1.2 million people are expected to either register or revalidate their membership of the party in 2,000 polling units in the state.
We are at the next level. Southeast has since moved on. Southeast is APC. Just 2 days ago, Mr. President approved 400 million for us to do empirical evaluation of our salt deposit so that we can build hypochlorite solution for the entire water treatment in Nigeria and also for table salt and also commercial uses.
Governor Umahi further thanked President Muhammadu Buhari for, among other things, approving 6 billion naira for the state to invest in limestone granite, a major material for fertilizer production. In Abakaliki, Chika Okori, NTA News.
Work will soon commence at the site for the proposed 10,000 housing units initiated by the federal government. Executive Director Business Development in the Federal Housing Authority, Abdulmumin Jibril Kofa, disclosed this while inspecting the 500 hectares of land on which the project is to be executed. Abdullahi Mustafa has the details.
Vast land situated around Dawano in the outskirts of Kano is the site of the federal government's proposed mass housing estate. It was allocated by Kano state government to facilitate its timely takeoff. The project is part of strategies for the actualization of federal government's plan of addressing housing deficit in the country. In preparation for its commencement, Executive Director Business Development of the Federal Housing Authority Abdulmumin Jibril Kofa led an inspection team to the site. He disclosed that the project will be executed in phases.
So we're trying to see how fast we can finish the pre-project process then before we can now deploy on site and commence work.
The Executive Director was earlier at the Federal Housing Estate Sharada, where he met with residents on planned regeneration of the facility. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
The Benue State government has set up a task force to address the endemic incidences of human trafficking in the state. Deputy Governor of Benue State, Benson Abonu, inaugurated the team under the watch of the Director General of NAPTIP, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, at the Government House Makudi. Charles Abba was there.
Records from the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, indicate that the agency has investigated 375 cases, rescued 53 victims, and convicted 75 suspects involved in human trafficking since 2013. It is to further tame the tide of the menace that the Deputy Governor, Benson Abonu, inaugurated a task force chaired by the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Michael Gusa.
The enactment of the VAPP law has presented us with more opportunities to collaborate with National Agency for the Prohibition of Human Trafficking in Persons to reduce, if not to eliminate, incidences of rape and other forms of human degradation.
New initiatives must be developed for ensuring adequate resources for the rehabilitation of returnees and victims of human trafficking and irregular migration in order to mitigate the phenomenon of trafficking.
She noted that human trafficking has assumed an alarming proportion and constituted a great national security concern in recent times. In Makudi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
Still on the Lenten season, as activities for this year's Easter celebration in the Christendom begins with Lent, Nigerians have been admonished to repent from sin and love one another. This was part of the message to mark 2021 Ash Wednesday in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Kelvin Samuel reports.
To mark the beginning of Lent is the Ash Wednesday, which physically has to do with blessings of ash born from palm branches or cross made from palm leaves used during previous year's Palm Sunday celebration. However, this ritual means more to Christians than a simple burning of ashes.
This is reminding us this season to get closer to God, and that our body is the temple of the Lord. We need to sacrifice this season, love one another.
It reminds us that we came from the dust, and dust shall we return. This is the beginning of Easter. As a Catholic, this is the beginning of 40 days.
A clergy, Reverend Father Donatus Odoite, gives more insight to the significance of Ash Wednesday and how best to celebrate it.
So it is the beginning of a journey. And this journey is a journey of repentance, reconciliation, and return to God. So it is time for us to stop for a moment, take stock of our lives, and begin to see where we went wrong in order to move forward. As a matter of fact, if this country returns to God, then it will be one of the best of countries we will be having in the world.
In previous years, the ash was usually placed on the forehead, but the church, as part of measures to curtail the further spread of COVID-19, adopted the concept of placing it at the center of the head for this season. In Uyo, Kelvin Samuel, NTA News.
Nationwide continues in Jos Network Center, and Frama is our guide. Okay, I'm told they are not ready yet, so let's go to our next report. It is a known fact that providing for the needs of the elderly, particularly in Africa, requires paying special attention to their health, comfort, and material well-being. An organization, the Dave Omokaro Foundation, is partnering with other partners to develop a policy framework for the enhancement of the livelihoods of those classified as senior citizens. Olabode Arewa reports.
Elder Shola Mahoney is one Nigerian who is not a stranger to the challenges common to senior citizens who are 60 years of age and above. Though he is relishing his life as a retired person, he nevertheless knows firsthand what it is to be an older person in a developing country like Nigeria.
And the older persons are often seen as taking resources, opportunities, jobs away from the youth. So already we have a problem because there is this sort of oppositionality that's been set up, a false one if you ask me, between the old and the youth.
Just like him, participants at this virtual forum are brainstorming on practical ways to help elderly people cope with the phenomenon.
The shifting of the paradigm, the changing of conversation from older persons as a burden to older persons as investment. How do we turn it around?
Inclusive growth and sustainable development. That is a very, very critical pillar, because that is where you will find the issues of aging and older persons.
The forum observed that because majority of elderly people in Africa are resident in rural areas, helping them gain access to economic opportunities should be at the core of any assistance, either from government or the private sector. The forum expects to fashion out a framework that will guide the implementation of future social protection programs for old people in Nigeria. Olabodarewa, NTA News.
Jos is up and ready to go, and Frama is standing by. Frama.
Hello Lydia, welcome to Jos. Key players in peace building have expressed displeasure over rampant cases of incidences of killings in some villages in Basa local government area of Plateau State. This is as they converge in Jos to find enduring solutions to the killings. Indian and Abuja reports.
The peace parley is coming on the heels of recent killings in some parts of the state, especially in Basa local government area. Participants expressed concern over the killings and condemned it in strong terms.
The leadership of the Fulani men that live within these local governments, the leadership of the traditional stool of these various places, we are met. And we all agreed on something. And that thing we have agreed upon has been broken. What an unfortunate act.
I want to assure that myself and my operatives on the plateau will not relent in our pursuit of this wicked and cowardly criminal.
Other notable speakers expressed the need for all to team up and find workable solutions to stop the killings.
Leaders from Basa local government and our own security agencies, let's rise up, team up together, let's stop the killing.
Give us the headway for us to bring back peace in Plateau State.
They were also quick to point out that the recent inauguration of Interreligious Committee is born out of the need to embrace dialogue and pursuit of peaceful coexistence in the state. In Jos, Indian and Abuja, NTA News.
Plateau State Police Command has paraded more than 30 suspects in connection with various crimes. Bilkisu Nuhu has details.
The suspects were arrested for crimes ranging from theft, kidnapping, conspiracy, culpable homicide, possession of arms and stolen items. Commissioner of Police Edward Ebuka disclosed that from the month of October 2020 to date, the command has recorded some breakthrough in the fight against crime in the state. He called on the public to be vigilant and watch out for criminal elements that are bent on causing havoc in the community.
Criminal elements clearly are warned that in their own interest to either retrace their steps and desist from their nefarious activities or relocate out of this state. Otherwise, of course, the dragnet of the command will definitely catch them.
CP Ebuka appreciated Governor Lalong and officers and men of the command for being proactive in dealing with criminal elements, especially with the introduction of the anti-kidnapping, land grabbing, and cultism law. The suspects will be charged once investigations are concluded. In Jos, Bilkisu Nuhu, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Jos. It's back to you, Lydia, in Abuja for the rest of Nationwide.
Many thanks, Frama. Poverty, ignorance, and leadership failure on the part of the political elites have been enumerated as some reasons for the current ethnic tension in Nigeria. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria who made the submission while suggesting ways to douse the current state of affairs. Ekene Ndulwe reports.
60 years after Nigeria's independence, the country is still battling with primordial issues of ethnic violence and discrimination. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria, who acknowledged that no country can progress without peace, also emphasized that every Nigerian has a right to live and work in any part of the country without hindrance.
Poverty and the economic challenges that people are facing would be considered as one of the major triggers for these ethnic tensions.
This tension, when it comes up, is often amongst the downtrodden. You know, those who are near nihilists, who probably does not have, you know, who are not able to appreciate life. We see it happening, but again, we see them wanting to strike at the elites.
Because we have completely, for 3 decades or more, as a nation, failed to invest in human security, we are now reaping the benefit of this neglect.
The guests advocated observance of the constitutional principles of equality, freedom, social justice and rule of law as solution to the problem of rising ethnic tensions in the country.
We need to have government at all levels having the ability to harness our resources, our commonwealth, manage our diversity in the best interest of Nigeria.
People should remember that we are so interwoven and so interrelated that an action in one part will trigger a reaction in another part.
They also believe that with the right policies and increased sensitization, the narrative will change for the better. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
We're now joining correspondent Abdullahi Mohammed, who is live in Kagara. Abdullahi, hello. Thanks for joining us on Nationwide. You are at the scene of what is trending all over the social media and also on the media. What is the situation on ground?
All right, thank you very much. We just arrived at Kagara just some few moments ago. If you can see behind me here, you see a lot of security have gathered here.
Much later, we seem to be having a challenge there. We'll take a break now. We'll continue when we come back.
The broadcast media ecosystem is dynamic and requires continuous training for practitioners to perform optimally. NTA TV College Jos invites relevant officers to the following specially packaged training programs. Intermediate online news reporting skills. Date 1st March to 12th March 2021. 2 weeks. Studio lighting indoor and outdoor. Date 1st March to 5th March 2021. 1 week. Modern trends in broadcast media marketing. Date 15th March to 9th April 2021. 4 weeks. Understanding public service rules and mastering the art of standard minute writing, reports, memoranda, and briefs. Date 15th February to 12th March 2021. 4 weeks. The course fee for the 4-week courses is 100,000 naira per participant. The fee for the 2-week course is 80,000 naira, while the course fee for the 1-week course is 40,000 naira only. Accommodation inclusive. Venue for all the courses is the serene and secure environment of NTA TV College near Old Government House, Rayfield, Jos. For more inquiries, please call 0803-314-4383 or 0806-980-9807. NTA TV College, Jos. Training you to be the best you want to be.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
Focus on the game changer, His Excellency Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State. Broadcasting in a digital economy, Maxwell Logo gives an insight. This edition also features Nancy Naji of AIT, a name synonymous with business. Meet the NCDC boss, Dr. Chikwe Ihekweazu. TV Guide, your indispensable companion, also x-rays the relevance of social media in the modern society. Meet some TV professionals who have impacted their spaces and other inspiring stories in sports, entertainment, and lots more. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or NTA station nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
Welcome back. 26.8 million poor and vulnerable individuals across the country have been registered in the National Social Register, a database for social intervention programs. This was stated by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, during an interministerial dialogue on the National Social Register in the fight against poverty in the country. Ruth Agwele reports.
Poverty, a global norm. The fight against poverty in the country has continued to raise concerns, with different strategies put in place by the federal government to eliminate this pandemic. This interministerial dialogue, organized by the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, is to promote an all-inclusive approach for poverty reduction interventions through an effective use of the National Social Register, a database that allows extensive coverage of social protection on targeted beneficiaries drawn from registration of the poor and vulnerable households across the country as a gateway to coordinate social intervention programs of the federal government.
We have identified and registered 26.8 million poor and vulnerable individuals, equivalent to 6.3 million households in our country. We are expecting another 20 million to be added to the database and held in the Rapid Response Register.
You will all agree with me that women are the face of poverty. If we ignore this huge population, which is over 50% of the total population of the country, then we've missed it.
It's a people-centered initiative. This is where the transparency, the integrity, the accountability, and inclusiveness of the social register lies.
It is expected that, with access to the National Social Register, partners will take advantage of the initiative to flatten the poverty curve in the country. In Abuja, Ruth Agwele, NTA News.
A 3-day Fidel prayer was offered in Yola in honor of late Hajia Mariam Ahmadu Gogosong, her stepmother to the First Lady Aisha Muhammadu Buhari. Nafisa Abdulhamid Dembos reports.
Hundreds of sympathizers trooped into Yola to commiserate with the family of the First Lady on the death of Mariam Ahmadu Gogosong, who died recently at the age of 89. The deceased was described as humble and God-fearing, whose contributions to the family and her immediate community will be greatly missed.
Everybody is her child. Let's learn a lesson from her.
A great leader to us, is a pillar in our family. We lost her, we miss her.
Very big detress.
This is a national loss for every child because of her caring.
She constantly prayed for me and supported me.
A 3-day Fidel prayer was offered for Allah to grant her into Jannatul Firdaus and to comfort the family she left behind. Hajia Mariam Ahmadu died last Saturday in Abuja after a brief illness. She is survived by 3 children, including Musa Halilu Ahmed Chiroma, Dujima Adamawa, and was a stepmother to the First Lady Aisha Muhammadu Buhari. In Yola, Nafisa Abdulhamid Dembos, NTA News.
We now rejoin Abdullahi in Kagara in Niger State. Abdullahi, if you can hear me now, what is the situation there? We apologize for the lack of audio there. We'll surely rejoin Abdullahi in our subsequent bulletins. Let's now take the NCDC update. 1,368 new COVID-19 infections have been recorded in Nigeria in the last 24 hours, bringing the country's total confirmed cases to 148,286. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control NCDC says the new infections were found in 27 states and the FCT. Anambra recorded the highest with 344 cases, Oyo 172, FCT 148, Benue 107, Rivers 95, Ogun 59, Ondo 56, Ebonyi 53, Kaduna 52, Plateau 46, Kwara 36, while Enugu has 30 cases of the virus. Akwa Ibom recorded 26 new COVID-19 cases, Osun 22, Edo 20, Abia 17, Kano 16, Borno 15, Delta and Gombe recorded 8 cases each, Imo 7, Ekiti 5, Sokoto 4, while Jigawa, Bayelsa, Nasarawa and Zamfara recorded 3 cases of the virus. So far, 124,483 cases have been discharged, while the death toll is now 1,777. Sports is next.
Super Falcons will on Thursday morning begin the chase for Turkish Invitational Women's Cup against CSKA Moscow in Antalya, Turkey. The Nigeria senior women's team, which arrived Turkey on Monday alongside its technical crew, have intensified preparations after undergoing a compulsory COVID-19 test on Tuesday. The match is the first since assumption of coach Randy Waldron. Still on football, as the Nigeria Professional Football League prepares for match day 11 across the country, the Nigeria Football Federation has reassured on its commitment towards ensuring that all laid down guidelines for COVID-19 regulations are strictly adhered to by all the clubs. NFF Task Force Committee on COVID-19 promised not to leave any stone unturned in saving the lives of players and officials.
We have started going around and to ensure that the protocol are being observed. And then we are having total support from the teams as well as the state FAs and the leagues itself.
To tennis now, in the Australian Open, former world #1 Rafael Nadal failed to reach the 2021 semi-finals as the Spaniard lost 6-3, 6-2, 6-7, 4-6, 5-7 to Stefano Tsitsipas, who will now meet Daniil Medvedev on Friday. And that's Sports Updates. I am Tamara Ebiwe.
That concludes Nationwide. Thank you for being a part of it. I am Lydia Ojijochi. Have a pleasant evening. Goodbye.
Yes. All right. Okay. We just arrived. We just arrived Kagara some few minutes ago, and this is exactly where, the secondary school where some kids were abducted this morning, family and some teachers. But right now, if you look at it, you see everywhere is calm. Security are all positioned here. And any moment from now, a chopper is going to land just some few meters away from here, carrying a delegation from the presidency. That means a very swift response from the presidency to come and, assess what has happened here and report back to Mr. President for further action. Lydia.
What is the ambience among the locals?
Of course, we have not been able to go down into the town itself, but everywhere, I'm assuring you, is calm. the people have come to terms with what has happened, and moreover, security is almost everywhere. You can see behind me here the number of police that are positioned here, the military and so on and so forth, but everywhere is calm.
What is expected from the security agencies as at this time?
Well, that I cannot say precisely, but I will tell you that they are trying to do exactly what they are supposed to do. That's keep security here, or secure the environment, the community, and every other aspect of their responsibility. But of course, I'm telling you once more that a chopper has just landed carrying a delegation from the presidency coming here to assess what has happened this morning here, and then report back to the presidency for further action.
Abdullahi, tell us now, since your arrival, did you have any opportunity of going inside the premises of the school?
Part of Oh, no, not yet, because we arrived here just, I have told you about 2-3 minutes ago that we got here. But if you can watch through my camera, you see over there, so meters far away there, you can see that the helicopter has landed, and it is carrying the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, Minister of the Environment, and so on and so forth, coming up here.
So tell us if you've also had any opportunity to talk with any staff who is there on ground. Any opportunity to talk with any staff on ground?
Not yet, but what you should understand is that the school has been closed. The state government has closed all schools across these zones to ensure that the students are, secured. Maybe they have to go back home. But if you look at it here, there is no student here. The teachers are not also, within the premises here. But by this side, the other side, inside town, you can see security is well positioned.
Okay, now we want you to tell us more about the expected delegation sent by the president. What are they expected to do?
We first met them at the government house in Mina, and as we left, they were also coming behind us. Some came with a chopper, some used the road, and we came together with those ones that used the road. But again, some few minutes later, the chopper landed. If you look at this way, you see still contingents from that part of the people from the presidency coming into the school. And what we're expecting from these people here who are going into this school is to carry out a kind of an assessment of what has happened inside this school. The number of children that were abducted, maybe some died in the process, the destruction in the school, a lot of things that they will investigate. They'll hear from maybe the principal himself, who will speak on behalf of the school to tell us exactly what has happened, and so on and so forth. So their responsibility here is to make sure that they carry out a proper assessment of what has happened 3 a.m. this morning, and then put it together, take it to Mr. President for further action.
Okay, now finally, Abdullahi, can you describe the terrain of the environment where the school is located?
Let me also take a walk so that I will show you exactly how it is playing out inside the school itself. You see, even from the view of my camera, you can see there are a number of vehicles from the Nigerian Army, the police, the state security services. You can see them standing by with their guns, ready for any kind of breakdown of security in this school. All in anticipation of the delegation that we've been talking about from the presidency, coming also to kind of carry out assessment of what has happened in this school. Just take a look at that place. You see a number of people, number of people also, standing. Okay, and we're expecting that very soon the delegation will be coming off the helicopter and walk down to this place where these people are waiting for them, so that they will be able to answer, to ask questions that will be answered by the principal of this school, and so many other witnesses who will tell them exactly what has played out early this morning in this school, where students of this school were abducted. Let me see if I can get to talk to somebody who will tell us. Maybe he knows anything that's happened here. Hello, any one of you that can just tell us exactly what has happened here this morning? Nobody's going to say anything. Nobody's going to say anything. But over there, I think it's either the governor of the state that is trying to make some statements. Let me see if I can just move there and then give him the camera. We're live on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. So I think it is very necessary for us to come in and then torchlight through there.
By flashing, excuse me.
So you can see
by flashing
yes.
the torchlight, they shoot him.
Well, right now, as you can see, sir, they explain to the governor what has happened here, and the governor is listening to him.
Instantly died. So after that, I called the DPO, and he sent his men here. So on reaching here, the bandits have already fled away. So we can. Okay, I called him around that 3:30. Yes, 3.
What is happening here at studio is that the governor is asking an official of this school to find out exactly what has happened early this morning, and he's explaining to him. He's asking him questions upon questions, and he's also answering and responding to him.
And, we found out those that are not in the school. So we calculated and found out that it is 27 students that were missing.
So eventually some of them ran away when the bandits came.
Because when we are here in the morning, some of them came out.
Came back from the bush.
Yes.
Okay, and they were wearing army uniforms.
The bandits.
Yes.
At that time.
Do we have?
But I learned later. Somebody was calling that they went into the hostel and they were trying to change the dress to students' dress.
Do we have an idea of how many bandits came in?
That is what I can say. Because nobody.
They came on foot or motorcycles?
They came on foot.
Okay. All right. Well, it's very unfortunate, but I can see the school is not fenced. So now, if we were to learn anything by this, some years back, yes, it was safe, but now it means that it's no longer safe not to have fence around your school. So I think the government will look at this critically to ensure that not only your school, most of the schools that have no fence are being fenced. That would have provided some level of protection for students. I know Niger State has always been a peaceful state. In the past, there was no need for fence. In fact, but recently, people they never lock their houses in Niger State. Up until 2018, people never locked their houses. So I understand we lost one boy. My condolences to the parents and to all of you, and the staff, family that their loved ones have been kidnapped. But then we're doing whatever it takes to ensure that we bring them back safely. And just before I left, Mr. President sent a delegation, a very powerful delegation comprising of the NSA, the Minister for Internal Affairs, Minister of Police Affairs, Minister Interior, Minister Information, to come and commiserate with us on this. And right now, I've just been told to see Mr. President at 8 p.m. today. So hopefully I will bring it up with him, and I believe definitely we'll do whatever it is. But right now, our priority is to bring the boys and other kidnapped victims back home safely.
Yeah, His Excellency, we're live on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. Tell us your feeling when the federal government responded, swiftly to what has happened in Niger State.
Well, I believe I had a temporary comfort. I say temporary because the words were comforting, But what is left now is to see some action on the ground. And like I said, I'm hoping to see the president later tonight to discuss in details some of these issues and what I think we need to do. But first of all, we need to bring everyone back home safely. So there will be our immediate priority and objective right now is to bring everyone back home. But going forward, this cannot continue like this forever. So going forward, we need to put some things in place to address this issue once and for all. I honestly believe that we have suffered enough of these banditry activities. We have been very patient and tolerant on these matters. We have been doing our best. But at this point, it is more of a national issue. So I'm ready to collaborate with the federal government to find a lasting solution to this situation. We never used to experience this, to be honest. This area has always been calm, but just of a sudden, not only this case, but we had other cases, especially in Shiroro local government, Mariga local government, Munya. We lost some vigilantes yesterday in Munya, and Rafi local government, which is this very local government. This local government has been under attack by bandits for quite a while now. But this is more emotional because they're to come to school to study. So I think every one of us here is shocked, and we condemn these activities of these bandits in totality. So I believe from my meeting with the National Security Advisor and the Minister of Internal Affairs and that of Police Affairs and the IG, I believe we have to review the architecture of the entire security network in the state, considering the fact that Niger State is the largest state in Nigeria. So it is difficult for us to patrol the entire landscape. We have huge forest reserves, and at the same time we have boundary with other states. So like I said, there isn't much to say. What has happened has happened. We are monitoring the situation carefully. I'm very hopeful that all the victims will be released. At the moment, there's a motion in place that is going on, and hopefully we should hear some good news within the next...
This must be another, big blow below the belt for the state, because some days ago there was a kidnapping, and then again this morning another one. Yeah,
it's like I said, I'm totally shocked, and not just for the entire country, because it is extremely embarrassing that children, young boys, will be subjected to this trauma, and at the same time it is actually it's also embarrassing that people cannot travel. The other incidents happened on Sunday at about 2:30 in the afternoon. So I really want to appeal to the security agencies. I know they are doing their best, like I said, but I think we need to do more. And the political leadership will have to support them. The size of the state does not really help us. Mind you, we're talking about only 2 local governments. This is a state where from state capital to drive to some of the local governments, you drive for 10 hours. And if you're to drive from boundary to boundary, you can drive 14 hours within the state. If you're to fly, you can fly 40 minutes non-stop in the air within Niger State. With the total number of policemen we have, I doubt if much can be done at the moment. So Niger State needs to be given a special attention when it comes to security matters. And I hope my discussions with Mr. President this evening will bring very positive results, and the outcome of the meeting I will transmit to you later on.
Mr. Gakpo, so going forward, mentioned that you are not going to be in for any sort of ransom as far as this kidnapping is concerned. How do you want to sort the situation?
As a policy, we don't believe in paying ransoms. because it doesn't work. It only provides a temporary solution. When you provide money, then you're giving money to the bandits to buy more weapons. And when they buy those sophisticated weapons, then we'll put our security agents at risk. So we're ready to dialogue with them. If they have any grievances of why they are doing these activities, we're ready to look into it and provide even a better solution to support them in such a way that they can make legitimate income. So, but to start providing ransom, I don't think that is the right way forward, because it means this will never end. But I also agree, if they are aggrieved, if they've been left behind, if they haven't been attended to, which I suspect is probably the reason for all this, I strongly believe that yes, the time has come to consider them and to include them in whatever palliatives or whatever support the federal government is providing to other sectors. I know for a fact that it started with the herdsmen and farmers clashes, and I know everywhere there is a budget for farmers. There's a lot of programs for farmers, the CBA, AMCO borrowers and what have you. If you spend 500 billion on farmers, at least you need to spend, if not up to that amount, at least half amount on herdsmen. And the time has come to settle down in one place. The practice of moving from one part of the country to another is no longer feasible. They have to be settled in a place so that they get the benefits of education, of healthcare, veterinary services, and possibly to enhance their capacities so that they will make or earn more from their business. So, but I know we're not dealing with the genuine herdsmen. The genuine herdsmen are also victims. We're dealing with criminals. We're dealing with criminals that have decided to choose a path of violence and terrorism to terrorize the general public and to deprive them of their hard-earned resources. So these are we're dealing with two different groups here. I know we have the genuine herdsmen that have a genuine concerns. That will be tackled, but what we're dealing right now with is a criminal activity, and we condemn this activity in its totality. So we will do whatever it takes to bring these victims back.
Okay. His Excellency, we have to leave it there.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
All right. We would like to also move on again into the school premises. Take a look at some of the classrooms, maybe the administrative blocks, and so on and so forth. She'll be able to bring to you exactly what is left of what has happened early this morning. So this is one of the, I think, the classes. We're going to head there now to just take a look at it. I know where is going to be news is where the students sleep. Exactly where is the boarding? Is this way? Okay. We'll take a look at the classes. Then we'll move on to the boarding house and then see where there is. Okay. I think this is not part of the classes. These classes are not in use. Are not in use. But let's head to the boarding class. So the boarding house there. See how it is. I know we will. Government Science Secondary School, Kagara. This is where we still are. We're moving towards the boarding house now. You can see beds outside. But hopefully in a moment we'll get to the boarding house where the students sleep. Okay. Over there, I have started seeing exactly where the boarding house is, and that's exactly where the abductors came in this morning and took away students, teachers, and some family of the teachers who reside here in this school. Just take a look at these beds. This is to tell you that there was a serious struggle here, serious struggle between the students and the abductors. We don't know exactly what must have happened here, but this is telling you that something terrible happened here. We're still walking down to where the boarding house is. Just take a look at that bag there, and a stove, and then a broom. This must be somebody's property. That's one of the students must have left it behind in struggling to go towards safety. We're still moving on to the boarding house. It's over there. It's over there. You can see people are trying to peep into the boarding house and see how it is, the condition especially. So we are slowly getting there. By this side, it must be the cafeteria where the students have their meal. And again, this side is their classes, all under lock and key. Following the announcement by the state government that schools in these areas are closed. And that means, I think, for the meantime, so that arrangement will be made maybe subsequently for the opening of the school. That's some of our colleagues also taking a shot at what has happened. This is where they said they packed all the students, they assembled them here when they brought them out of their boarding houses. So they put almost all of them together here. So let's move. We'll move further again towards the boarding house. All right. Let's take a look at the hall itself. Let's just take a look at it. Here is where the bandits assembled the students that they abducted. They gathered them here. They brought them out of their boarding house, gathered all of them here before they finally took them away. I mean, the teachers, the family, and the student. Okay, this is the hall. Just take a look at it. This is the hall. So we'll move on again to the boarding house, because we'll be heading to the boarding house so that people will have an idea of the situation here. That you're seeing in the camera over there is the boarding house. I think we need to just put our two eyes into it and then go back. Well, if this, okay, let me just clearly point to exactly the boarding house here. 3 boarding houses here, and this is where the bandits or abductors came and then took away those students, gathered them in the hall here, the assembly hall here. Then finally they took them away. So we will have to start going back to the main gate now, where we're expecting the delegation from the presidency to come. So we'll be heading down there now. Over there you can see a number of people still standing there. They're waiting, expecting the delegation to come. The governor of the state inclusive is also there. right now, I know the families of this student must have a kind of a bit of a sigh of relief, who at least they have heard from the governor, who have spoken extensively and gave assurances of the fact that he will do everything possible to release these students, the teachers, and their family. All right. And I think at this point in time, Lydia, at this point in time, I would like to let you understand that we'll just go on a break to wait for the arrival of the delegation from the presidency, so that from there we'll now move on. Lydia.
Thank you so much, Abdullahi, for that analysis. Thank you for that update. It was really in-depth. We're grateful. Well, we now continue with other scheduled programs on the NTA. Thank you for being with us.
That's good.